Welcome guys to episode 1 of the prep series, which will be still unnamed. Fuck knows if I'll actually ever come up with a name. So we're on day 2 of prep. Yesterday checked in with Ben. We had a plan in from Sunday though, so we kind of know what we're doing. So yesterday weighed in at 212.8 and then already down to 11.3 this morning. So 1.5 pounds down. So nice start to things. Train legs. And then yeah, here we are, day 2. So today what we'll do is we'll run you through everything. So macros, training, what food, what kind of stuff, and then we're going to train pull, and we'll take you through a full pull session, breaking down some talking points and whatnot, but mostly just kind of getting after it. Gonna probably even do a food shop, take you guys to the supermarket. So today will be a full encompass video. With these kind of being a lot more longer form, I thought it would be better to just kind of keep them very general and not very specific. Otherwise it will end up being like full day of eating, and then it'll be like full day of training, and then like after like 3-4 videos it'll be show day. So obviously you want to kind of have a bit more substance to the videos. So here we are, done cardio. Started a little bit later than usual today because Cam got stuck in traffic on the way from his lovely abode. So did cardio 30 minutes and then now we are here 10:54 with meal 1, so a little bit later, but luckily obviously I'm not super hungry yet, so I'm not, like, if I was deep in prep, this would be like me literally like eating my own arm off at this point. So let's get off with meal 1. We've got ourselves minced rice, veg, and cashew nuts for my extra fat sauce there. So we've got, I believe it's 90 grams of rice, 200 grams of 5% beef, 20 grams of cashew nuts, and then 50 grams of veg, with some salt of course. Already started to be a bit more sensible. Like I've already pulled a lot of like the more calorie dense seasonings I was using, just because I was like, I'd rather do it now and then just kind of really be in that rhythm, so that way later on in prep, when I start putting those things away, it doesn't make me feel more hungry. So like I'm doing them now, so that way I feel almost more satiated by the fact that it's not as pleasant to eat. Not that it's still not delicious, but just having those extra seasonings and just like enjoying your food more can almost in a way make you feel more hungry. So putting that out now, so I set myself up for the future. So I'm gonna eat this, probably watch a little video on the TV, and then we'll catch up with you when we decide what we're going to do next.
The best podcast of all time. They make it into an embryo and then they implant the embryo. Crazy. Mike, what are you doing?
I want the review on this lovely device.
It's very nice, mate.
Thank you.
So Josh, what's going on here?
Some serious hip action is what's going on here. So for Christmas, Ella got me the compression like Pulsio full leg boots, and then my parents bought me the hip extension, which just looks like a big fuck off nappy. So prep recovery tools are they're in play already. So I thought I'd take this time while I'm recovering to give you guys a breakdown of what my food is. So yeah, let's have a look, shall we? So in terms of the current macronutrients and calories, so 285 grams of protein, 508 grams of carbs, and 70 grams of fat on a training day, which is 3,799 calories, aka 3.8k calories. And then rest day is 287 protein, 280 grams of carbs, so a lot less, and 85 grams of fat, which takes us to 3.1k roughly. And then what the meals consist of, holy fuck, this is tight around my tush. You need to try this after. This feels incredible. Look at my caboose. Does it emphasize my fat ass?
It's so flat.
Oh fuck. More glute training. And then in terms of the diet itself, I'll take you through what we are eating. Obviously you've already seen meal 1, but we'll go through everything anyway. So training day meal 1 is, as I said, 200 grams of 5% mince, 90 grams of jasmine rice, and then 20 grams of cashew nuts with 50 grams of veg. Meal 2 is 220 grams of chicken, 90 grams of jasmine rice, 20 grams of nuts, and a green apple. Meal 3, which is pre-workout meal, is 220 grams of chicken, 90 grams of rice, 20 grams of cashew nuts, and a squares bar with 50 grams of veg. Intra-workout is 1 scoop of cyclodextrin with EAAs, glutamine and creatine. And then post-workout is 120 grams of Cocoa Pops with 60 grams of whey isolate. And then the final meal of the day is 200 grams of 5% mince, 90 grams of jasmine rice, and 20 grams of cashew nuts again. And then rest stays the same, except the Cocoa Pops meal is cream of rice, and that has some fats in it with, again, added cashew nuts, just because that's been my fat choice, which I've been really enjoying over olive oil. Just makes me feel a bit more full, which obviously is not a bad thing, which is good. So yeah, but then obviously the food amounts drop significantly in terms of carbs. So each meal is approximately, basically 65 grams of rice or cream of rice across the board, and then 25 grams of cashew nuts. But then the protein portions all stay the same. So that is currently the food. We haven't changed it actually as of as a start prep. We actually kept it the same, just because when I was reversing out of my diet, we got up to around 4 point something thousand calories. It was like 700 something grams of carbs. No, it was like 650 grams of carbs and shit. It was a lot of food. That, along with blast, was driving my body weight up quite fast. So then once I finished my blast, start my health phase, we were like, let's pull back a bit on the food, just simply for the fact of we just don't want me to continue to get fatter. And when you pull away blast anabolics, generally it will then increase the fat gain to muscle gain, will then drop. So to counteract that, and also just to kind of stay in a good spot to start prep, we pull food down. So that's where the food is now. My food, but that food then resulted in me dropping from around 216 pounds, just over 216 pounds, down to, we've been hovering between like 210 to 213. The only reason I was hitting 213 was where I was having kind of obviously the off-plan meals, and then generally I was sitting around like the 210 mark. So we still dropped to almost 6 pounds just from doing that, which then means now we've pulled away the off-plan meals, and then we've obviously bumped up the cardio, and then that's what's now kind of generating the deficit, along with blast starting again after health phase. Cardio setup, currently expenditure is 5 times 30, which currently I'm going to be doing on the recumbent bike, and then I'm going to save obviously the harder sessions for when I'm fitter and it's harder to burn calories for the Stairmaster, and then 10,000 steps. So that's the kind of expenditure and the calorie input. So yeah, I think the plan now is going to do some work. I'm going to need to go to the Lockup as well, so we'll probably take you guys through that, as we've just had a restock on the Flex Club line. So that will be going live as tonight. Obviously this video won't be going live, so the restock has happened. There's potentially a chance that some stuff may sell out again, like the flannels really sold out quick, along with the zip ups as well. So make sure, obviously, if you do want something, please do hop on it, use one of the athlete codes, support them, yeah, I think that's it for now. We said gonna also fill out my my high performance profile diary. Just a good habit once to get back into, which is being a little bit more mindful. So it kind of has like a morning mindset thing, and then I plan my day with like what I need to do and my scheduling and stuff, and then it's got like an evening reflection, just so I can kind of again stay mindful during prep, not letting myself get caught up in the constant just go, and becoming more and more numb, just because obviously the more you diet, the tendency to kind of lose that conscious brain does go away, just because you kind of go into this unconscious flow state. And obviously it's very important to keep relationships good. Obviously living with my partner now, it's very important that obviously like I then don't just become just dead inside. So the more I can stay conscious, the better it will be for my friends, my family, and people who obviously prep around, because ultimately they support you during your prep. So obviously then they not might be doing the cardio sessions, the training sessions, but ultimately they are supporting you out and around the gym. So it's really important to make sure you keep those relationships healthy and intact. So mindfulness is very important. So yeah, I've got 7 minutes left on this little contraption, and then yeah, we'll do some work.
you look at the guys that are winning, you know, they're
Meal two?
pretty well
Meal
balanced,
two.
and I think that balance
What have we
goes a
got?
long way, especially when you're
The
with
chicken,
other guys
rice,
that
and
are more
veg meal
balanced.
with some cashew nuts.
It's tough when you stand
Italy,
certain shots and you
don't
lose
knock it,
weight
you try
right
it.
out of the
If you like
gate.
cashew nuts,
Sometimes it's already
you'll like it
lost
on
there,
all
the
your meals,
momentum in
I
the
promise.
minds of the judges.
Yeah.
You know, and it's tough to forget, especially you know your first couple shots being front.
So athletic. First monster of Amsterdam. Okay, so just got to the lockup. We've just had obviously the restock arrive, so we're gonna go in, collect all the boxes, pop them up into the lockup, and then just take a few bits out for some orders as well, and we'll get this sent out to people. So we'll probably be here for like, I don't know, like half an hour. But yeah, so we'll do that and then we'll go back and then I think we'll have a little bit of time and then we will head to the gym. And on the drive to the gym, we'll break down my split and I'll take you through kind of some, like all my exercise choices and whatnot. And then you guys can get a little bit insight to that. And yeah, I think that's all. So let's not fuck around, let's go and get this done. Now rearrange the whole of the lockup. So as you can see, there's a lot of stock. So please do me a favour and buy some of it. It'd be great. So yeah, that's all reorganised. So we've got all our Flex Club and new stuff, and we've got all the Origin stuff, plus obviously Expo gear and whatnot. So racks, trolleys, boxes and whatnot, hangers. So hopefully this box by middle of the year will pretty much all be gone, and thanks to you lovely people. So yeah, I'm gonna now head back to the gaff, chill, and then we will head for training. So gonna take stairs. So here we have pre-workout meal. Pretty much the same as the last one, except we've got a squares bar on top as well for extra fast-acting carbohydrates. So chicken, rice, veg, cashew nuts. So eating this, so we'll head to the gym, and then set on the drive to the gym. We're going to break down the split and exercise and whatnot, and then we get to the gym, we're going to train pull, and we'll break down all this exercise selection, techniques, and all that kind of good stuff. Because if I do say so myself, I have a very good back. So I can hopefully teach you guys some things that can maybe help you overcome either poor back training or poor genetics. So yeah, scram this, see you in the car.
Physique update for Josh.
Zoom out, show them the full package. Show them the full package.
Wow.
Basically, guys, if I was 270 pounds lean, that'd be me. Maybe I should move to open.
Look at the mullet.
Mate, I look like a centaur.
You look majestic, bro.
I look like something out of Greek mythology. Like I feel like I literally got horse legs. It's like my mane, like a horse mane. Yeah. Right, guys. So we're on our way to the gym. Got this makeshift lighting so you can see this lovely face. So training is as follows. So Monday legs, Tuesday pull, Wednesday push, Thursday rest, Friday posterior, Saturday shoulders and arms, and Sunday rest. So 5 days a week, everything twice a week except my chest, and then even the Friday posterior session is more of a top up on a little bit of hams, a little bit of adductors, and like a little bit of back. Just because back I don't really need a little extra, but it's just there because it's a good strong point to have. And then obviously adductors and hamstrings because obviously they're weaker body parts. Delts and arms because they're weaker body parts. So that's kind of the setup. In terms of like the actual sessions themselves, so off the top of my head, Monday it starts with standing calf raise, 3 sets, 10 to 15, adductor, 3 sets, 10 to 15, and then we go into lying hamstrings, 8 to 12, 10 to 15, and then we have a drop set, and then we have lying single leg hamstring curl because right now we don't really have any other options for me at the gym, and I do again 2 sets of 10 to 15 with a rest pause into those, and then we move on to leg extensions, where we have a 8 to 12, 10 to 15, and then we have drop set. Then we have a single leg extension, one set of 8 to 15, which is more of like a pumpy set in terms of like I'm not too worried if that set doesn't progress. I only just want to make sure I just get the most out of my quads, so that way they're super pumped, super activated. When I then go into my hack squat, which is the last movement on that, where we do a set of 8 to 12, and then we do a set of 10 to 15, and then we also do an intensifier on that, which will be a rest pause or a drop set, depending on who I have around me. If I haven't got anyone who can help me with the drop set who I trust, I will do that as a rest pause. If I have someone there who I trust to actually strip the rates properly and stuff, then I do that instead. So that is that session. Then we have pull, which is today, which will be single arm prime pull down, 8 to 12, 10 to 15. Then we have a T-bar row, which is a 6 to 10, 10 to 15. Then we have extreme row, which is again 8 to 12, 10 to 15. And then we finish back off with pullovers, which is a set of 8 to 12, set of 10 to 15. Then we do 3 sets of single arm rear delt pull aparts on a cable, and then we do biceps to finish, which is a prime preacher curl, 1 set of 10 to 15 and another set of 10 to 15. But the way I do those is slightly differently in terms of the execution, which you'll see today. So for arm stuff, I do is I try doing 3 sets, but I was finding that it was end up becoming junk volume. So we then kind of switch those about. So the way I do that is do 2 sets. First set is like a super slow, controlled set where I like really kind of nail like more of a typical execution. And then my second set is fast, pump, a little more old school. And that's what I've been finding is actually been really helping with my arm training as well. So then we go into push, which is Life Fitness machine lateral, 3 sets, 10 to 15. Then it's dumbbell laterals, which is again, that's 3 sets, 10 to 20, so a much bigger rep range. And then we go on to a single arm pec deck, 8 to 12, 10 to 15. And then we go into our main compounds, which is actually really quite deep into the session. So we'll do a high incline Smith press, and then we go into a incline prime pin loaded press as well, and both of those are 6 to 10, 10 to 15s. Then we finish off with triceps, so we do prime push down, dip, same arm style, so 2 sets, 10 to 15 with the 2 split styles of execution. And then we do a tricep rope extension, same thing again. Then posterior is adductors, 3 sets of 15 to 20, so a higher rep range in those, so that way they're like a slightly different exercise, otherwise it would make trying to progress the same sets twice the same week quite difficult. And also just adds again something maybe slightly different when I'm trying to bring my adductors up, so some higher rep stuff is obviously just kind of good to have there. Then we move into a single arm standing hamstring curl, and then we do, for that we do again 8 to 12, 10 to 15 with a drop set, and then we go into prime pull down double arm, the V1 version, which is 8 to 12, 10 to 15. Then we go into a upper back dumbbell row, chest supported, 8 to 12, 10 to 15. And then we go into a chest support machine, like full back row, which is usually the Cybex, but it's not in the gym right now, so it's going to be refurb. So I've been doing the Nautilus Inspiration one, with a neutral grip, and it kind of just goes for like a full back squeeze. Then shoulders and arms again, a little bit more volume, so we do single arm cuff lateral, 3 sets, 10 to 15. Then we do Nautilus lateral raise, 3 sets, 10 to 15. Both of those are drop sets. Reverse pec deck, 3 sets, 10 to 15, the drop set. And then we go into the arm work, which is single arm tricep extension with the same like setup with as the other arm movements. Single arm curl with the cable, same thing. Then we go into preacher curls. Then we do a tricep overhead extension with rope. And then we do a superset of a machine prime extension with reverse curls for that brachialis. I think that's it. I missed dumbbell hammer curls at the end of the pull session as well. So yeah, so that kind of concludes the kind of setup of things I'll do is I'll get Cam to put all the text of all that up, and then that way it's easier to read than obviously me just waffling and maybe getting lost in the process. So that's the training setup. Not sure what Ben has in mind for keeping if there's a training volume and whatnot, if we're going to adjust that much towards the end of prep. I managed to hold on to that pretty good towards the end of the diet. Anything that might happen is we might pull intensifiers just to kind of keep in mind, not overdoing it and whatnot. So yeah, that's about it. The only time things might change the exercise section wise if we get new equipment in the gym or if machines get taken away and vice versa, but that is going to be the setup of the whole of prep. So yeah, on that note, we are almost at the gym, so I'm going to drink a pre-workout and then we will get to this full day ago.
Can I get you something in Ultraflex West London? Maybe some trend, maybe some fish.
So we have landed at Ultraflex and we are getting straight into things. It's quite busy this evening, so gonna be probably a little bit of waiting around here and there, but that's my fault for coming so late. Probably should have started a bit earlier, but it's what it is, we're here. So starting off with single arm pull down. Generally always like to start something single arm, just kind of get the lats activated. Obviously this kind of mimics a single arm pull down. You can do it on a cable or like other variations, like a hamstring pull down or whatnot. So yeah, I generally always start the session with this. I lower the middle peg for this because, again, first moving in, we're fresh, so I don't need to be heavily biting one side or the other. Cut a couple of cues for this quickly. Make sure you set yourself up with plenty of room to get a full stretch. For me, I like to let my scapula fully extend out of this, and then I'll cue shoulder down, then elbow. I'll pull through my pinky because you'll get a better activation to pull through the pinky. Something I've always preached. If you go back to my very first pull day on this channel, you'll see that. So yeah, try to think of those things. I'll have my body slightly twisted to the side that I am pulling on, and I also have a very small tweak I do when I do it as well. So when my arm's fully up, I actually drop the hip that I'm using. So for example, my right arm, my right hip is slightly dropped to open up even more space kind of in that lower lat area. So not only am I then going to be dropping my shoulder and putting my elbow down, I'm also going to pull my hip slightly up to compress that lower part of my lat. Just because that does obviously insert quite low. So if you want to squeeze the most out of it, that means you want to bring all 3 points of it. So kind of where it inserts towards the mid back, the bottom of, or towards the hip, and then top by the shoulder. You want to think about bringing all 3 of those parts together to get the most squeeze. And then again, to get the most stretch, opening them all out. So gonna do a few more warm-ups and then we'll get to a top set. My hoodie's coming off already. Fuck's hot, it's fucking here.
biscuit. Pro tip when T-barring, if you're using your upper back, move everything through your shoulder blades. Elbows and shoulder blades. Don't let your elbows drop low, keep them high. Pinch that upper back. Like so. Three biscuits. Four biscuits. Oh, come on. Not quite a 10. Extreme row. So did 2 decent sets on the T-bar, was 1 rep down in a max rep from 2 weeks ago, because I did take last week off with bod work. So it's fine, so not too bad considering things. Now we move on to the old extreme row. So got a slight bias towards the middle, not quite top yet, just because I just don't feel like I need it yet. Third movement in, still a little bit fresh, not super fresh because we just ruined the lats and the upper back, but still enough that should be fine. So doing that, yeah, nothing much to it. Again, ceiling knee, all in the scapula, upper back, keeping those elbows nice and high, and just making sure we get as much stretch as possible. Pause in the hole, keep it controlled, and that fun stuff.
One more now.
we are on to the arms portion of our workout, and then we're done. So we've got 2 sets here, we've got 2 sets on dumbbell hammer curl. Again, doing this whole process of doing controlled, squeeze, the fuck, set 1, and then second set, a little more old school, a little bit looser form, and just focusing on getting as gnarly a pump as possible, lots of reps, just pump into a drop set for even more reps. So yeah, that'll be the plan, and then we'll do some posing, and then we'll head home, post a workout meal, and probably wrap up the video there. So let's crack on. Yes, day 2 prep, not day 2, pretty much day 2 done. Main objective of day 2 done. So, gonna head home now, have post-workout meal, some Cocoa Pops, some whey, chill out, probably put my Pulsio leg boots back on, play some Xbox, and then I'll have last meal, and then I'll be heading to bed. So that's the plan for the evening. So we'll see you guys at home for a meal. Right guys, so got back, had post-workout meal, showered, and now ready to basically chill this evening. It is 9:13 on this lovely Tuesday evening, where we will conclude this video. I've got one more meal, but I'm gonna let Cam go home now because he's been here all day. So yeah, it's been a good day. It's a pretty typical day in life in terms of on a day I'm not working at the gym. Day I work at the gym can be pretty hectic. Usually will be either, oh fuck, hello. There we go. No, there we go. Where was I? Oh yeah, it could be random. So I could be opening the gym where in case not opening the gym but starting at 7, where I'll probably get up at like 5:30, do cardio, start shift 7 to 3, and then if I'm training I'll then train 3 to like 5:30, and then get home. And then if I'm closing the gym, it'll usually be get up at like 8 a.m, cardio 8:30, then like have 2 meals, then train, and then close the gym, starting the shift at 7, no, it's at 2:45, and then finish 10:45, and then home for like 11:15 at night, and then repeat. So yeah, that's kind of like general my schedule these days. And then on days off, obviously you've kind of seen now. We'll already be filming on my days off just because it makes more sense. Otherwise, I can't really film at the gym if I'm on shift. Kind of counteractive. But yeah, apart from that, that's episode 1 done. That's 2 days of prep done. With many more to go. Obviously, we've got 22 weeks to show one. So yeah, I think that's it, to be honest. Obviously, it's a slightly longer form video, so I appreciate everyone who has made it through to the end. They will stay this style content, just because we will be doing less videos, so I want to do longer videos.
Anyway, on that note, like, share with a fellow cunt, comment, subscribe. We'll pop all links for Trinity, coaching, that kind of stuff below in the bio. And yeah, until next time, peace out, dickheads.